Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Jesse on Fire is the name of the channel. 550,000 subscribers. I think it's went up quite a lot. He's covered quite a lot on the Charlie Kirk thing there, so which has been mental to be honest. And to be honest, we're no further forward in figuring out what the fuck went on. To be honest, well, maybe slightly, but yeah, it's madness. It's madness. The Charlie Kirk affair. So, last crack again, and to mention this guy and the ladder claiming he was still alive, that Charlie Kirk was still alive. Again, I think that's far fetched, as I said in that video. Like, well, what are you gonna do for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? But you never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened at sea, as they say. So again, I don't claim to know everything. That's the beauty of it. You just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on half of the time. So we're on Jesse on Fire here, but we're talking about the Epstein files, and he's using Blair White, who's got 1.54 million subscribers. Her videos called Epstein Files are absolutely insane. And his videos called The Most Shocking Find in the Epstein Files Will Blow Your Mind. Right, it's going to get a little bit fucked up here, to be honest, in many ways. But they're not at the same time. But again, it depends. It depends very much where you sat before the conversation starts. To be honest, so um, gods, devils, religions is the topic that's going to be sort of talked about here, and yeah, like it's very hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around this, and I understand that, but unfortunately, this is the crack, and yeah, you're gonna have to wrap your head around it eventually. Is another way of looking at it. So Jesse on Fire here, and sorry, Blair White again. Well, I'll play a bit, and then we'll get back to it. Hold on.
All right, Jesse on Fire. Welcome back, you guys. So we're creeping up on Christmas, and so I wanted to keep the Christmas cheer alive by talking about the Epstein file drop and the photographs that have come out that indicate things we've talked about many times on this channel related to which gods that these guys worship, Like, because the idea that they're, atheists, no, not atheists.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is a thing that's actually been discussed by a lot of people, to be honest. But it's not a subject that people like to approach, and I can understand why in many ways. But yeah, it's something that exists. Is maybe a way of putting it here. So as you mentioned there, gods and demons, devils, you name it. Again, stuff that we discuss here as well, like looking into the Bible, looking into the Nephilim and the Raphaim and the Anakim and the Old Testament and the Ethiopian Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all these kind of cracks. You know what I mean? The Old Testament, the New Testament, the pre what happened before the flood, all this kind of crack. So, but it all links back to gods in many ways, and you've got ancient civilizations there, always talking about the gods, the sky gods who came down. You've got all this cracking Genesis of the Watchers, yada 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 yada. It's all a very long, complicated crack, to be honest. But at the top of it all is gods, and again, I have this conversation as I mentioned before with people who they can't wrap their head round that Jehovah, our God, the Christian, Catholic, and Jewish God is Jehovah. The Muslim God is Allah, right? And these, despite what you think, are two different entities. They've got two different names, you know what I mean? And again, look at the two religions and what the religions sort of are based in and happens within them religions. Do they look like the same gods in many ways? All the people what's the word? The people, what's the word I'm looking for? Like perform. I can't think of the word. Act, perform. I'm trying to think of a specific word, but I can really absolutely lost my head. And the more I try and think of it, I can't. So gods, there's different gods, but then at the same time, you have the devil and you have Satan worship, and again, Satan worship's not an unknown thing, people just think it's kind of heavy metal. Do you know what I mean? And like thrash metal, and like the Satanists are like rockers. Do you know what I mean? Who do the devil horns and wear leather and fucking chains and studs and all this kind of crack. And it's kind of that's the general consensus, isn't it? In a way that the Satanists are like them kind of people, and they're in effect not proper Satanists. They're just again rock and rolls like anarchy in a way, and just going against the grain, and yeah, like rock and roll, isn't it? So again, I don't think anybody or the majority of them people are like really Satanists in the same sense, if you know what I mean. It's maybe sort of a half belief, and they just sort of want to be bad, is a way of putting it. Born to be bad, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's kind of where people think and look for Satanists, but it's not really the truth of the matter, to be honest. Satanists do exist. I mean, this is what this video is all about. Again, I'm not making these claims. These claims have been made far and wide, to be fair, by a lot of people. I mean, one person in particular who obviously is frowned upon by a lot of people. But David Icke has mentioned this extensively for possibly 30 years, to be honest. Again, upper echelon paedophile rings. Again, Epstein, here we are. And yeah, Satanism and upper echelon paedophile rings, and also a very good sort of sign or a bit of proof, if you want, that this has got a lot bit of backing other than what's going to be said in this video, and I have literally no idea what's going to be said in this video. I'm watching it for the first time with you, reacting. Bohemian Grove, again, I believe it's in California, and there's a massive owl statue to the god, is it Molech, possibly the god Molech, the owl. Massive owl statue, and they do rituals and like, but in effect, satanic rituals in Bohemian Grove in California. Again, you got the film sort of Eyes Wide Shut by Stanley Kubrick, who Stanley Kubrick died in between making the film and releasing the film. Stanley Kubrick died, and the rumour is a good 15 to 20 minutes of that film never made it to the cinema screens and has never been seen. And obviously that film was depicting, in effect, satanic ritual parties, was what it was called, what the film was about. Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise. And again, the film's called Eyes Wide Shut. So, and there's clues there if you want to see them, if you know what I mean. So, again, if this is the kind of crack with this, like the Satanism is there to be seen in many ways, like the Bohemian Grove. So you've also got Skull and Bones it's either Yale or Harvard University. I think it's Yale, but it might be Harvard. You've got Skull and Bones Society that many of the presidents have been members of. A bit of a Freemasons kind of scenario, kind of club. We have Skull and Bones. So, and that's got, I mean, Skull and Bones, the emblem is 322 and a skull and crossbones. It's, again, very much a dark, what's the word that these things have in American universities? Like, I can't remember the name of it now. You have like a chapter or something, or I can't remember the name. But anyway, Skull and Bones, so there's signs, do you know what I mean? There is signs knocking about that some people are Satanists, and maybe not the moshers here, you know what I mean? So this is what this video is kind of about. I've seen about 2 minutes of it. I thought I've seen the subject matter. I thought, oh, this will be quite interesting, do you know what I mean? And again, this is just like common YouTubers here, just again reporting on Satanism and within the Epstein files. And I think it's something that most people won't notice as well. That's the other thing. All these people will look at these photos of the Epstein files, and to be honest, if I'm honest, I never picked up on any of this, but I haven't really had a good look through the Epstein files, to be honest, other than other videos I've seen and made on them in many ways. So, but yeah, it's good what people are picking out. So I just thought it'd be quite interesting to see what's said, what's shown, what's proved. Is another one. Yeah, so let's have a crack at this and see what we're dealing. Sorry if the sound's a bit was a bit fucked up on the last video there. I might have Edge of the Matrix, Steve in Manchester, so I'll turn it down a bit and hope it'll be better.
Yes, okay? Not atheists. Can you think of anybody else that doesn't like Christianity? I'm trying to remember. Who else was it that thinks Christianity is bad if we're not talking about atheists and we're not talking about Muslims? What is it again? Oh, right. The kinds of people who would have art like this on their wall, okay? So we're going to take a look at, but listen, let me tell you something. Blair White killed this video so hard that I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually just going to play this, a little bit of it. You know what I mean? I don't like to steal people's like entire content, but I like to react to it because...
Yeah, same. Don't like to steal the full videos, like to react. Send you to the channel as well, Jesse on Fire. And as we said here, Blair White, so I might go and subscribe to Blair White as well after I've made the video again. She's the one who's come out with all this again. It's good. There's that many YouTube channels. It's unbelievable, really. So yeah, let's crack in, see what's been said here. No idea. Let's have a listen.
Listen, you know, I'm sure I'm going to send some people there. And also, I don't want to have to compile all of the pictures myself. And spoiler alert, okay, I found something, well, technically my investigator did, about Epstein that is going to, if the symbolism that Blair White's going to go through is not enough to convince you that these are 100% Satanists, okay? Like I'm not even like hiding the ball at all. Satanists. What I'm going to show you after we go through the Blair White section will convince you. I absolutely promise you that. All right.
Right, so again, that's the claim. Again, it's been claimed for a long time by a lot of people. That's the beauty of it. This isn't a new claim in any way, shape, or form. This is kind of saying he's proven the claim that all these people are Satanists. And again, it's all the things, to be honest, that come with Satanism. Again, the opposite of Christ, and obviously the message of Christ. Anybody who says the message of Christ is a bad message is a bit of a fucking idiot, to be honest. So again, Satan, the bad guy, sort of the bad guy in the book there, if anybody knows the tale, the devil. So yeah, worshipping the bad guy. So if all the rich, powerful people worship the bad guy, is it no surprise to anyone why everything goes real fucking bad around here half of the time? Do you know what I mean? Because the people in charge, not only are they wankers, they support an evil devil, God, so to speak. Their God is the evil guy. So, as fucked up as it all is, you've got to understand that what you believe, again, a lot of people are atheists, again, that's the times, you know what I mean? So, what you believe and what somebody else believes. I mean, the Muslims are a good example here of somebody who strongly believe in a religion, a God, and a faith. And no matter what you tell them, they believe that, you know what I mean? So there you go. And so these people here, a different section of people who just happen to be all the rich motherfuckers. They believe in a different God who, in effect, if you want to be picky about it, in effect isn't really a god in the same sense as God, but there you go. He's more like, according to the tale, he's more like, I believe he was God's favourite angel, was the crack, and he turned upon God. So, well, that's the tale I kind of have heard, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the crack. So let's have a listen what the fuck's going on.
I changed my mind. We're going to go through this stuff first, okay? Because once you see this, right, once you see the portion that I'm going to show you, there will be no questions about whether or not these people are exactly what they appear to be in the pictures. Even though the images are very, very compelling, they'll be much more compelling when you see this first, okay? This is going to be about a 10-minute section, and I encourage you to watch it before we get into all of the satanic images because this...
Yeah, so here we go. But as well, I just wanted to mention there as well, like obviously we mentioned like the New World Order, the future, the globalist plan, the global agenda, globalization, and these are the people trying to pull this off. So do you really want a world run by Satanists? I mean, it already is. They just haven't got total control yet. But do you want a world run by Satanists who have total control who can do whatever the fuck they want whenever they want. Do you think this is going to be a good world? And the answer, if you've got any fucking brains, is should be no. So again, this is kind of why these people need stopped, and why people have been trying to tell you and stop these people for like the last fucking 50 years, probably more. But people will not listen here. They'll just walk blindly into the fucking shit show of the future. This is kind of why people have been trying to warn you of this. And again, the Epstein files massively link into it, and all the people in the background has been mentioned by many a person. So yeah, kind of the global elites, their global agenda, they're all kind of paedophiles, and it's fucking yeah, it's all been said. That's, do you know what I mean? It's all been said, but it's there you go. So let's have a listen then. Go on, hold on. Sorry for taking so long to get here.
This is unbelievable. Now, real quick before we get started, I have two things to say. A is
He's as fucking bad as me. We can't fucking get anywhere.
if you guys would go ahead and subscribe to the channel like we generally handshake. I do content. It's not free. I just ask that you subscribe to the channel one time, and then it's all free. That would be amazing. And if you could like this video, that would be great. Also, so to the people who maybe watched my video today and were upset that I was saying that that guy, Mitch Snow, is a liar, I heard you, and I want to just verify. I'm not attacking Candace. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, the people who are mad, like, I'm not attacking Candace at all.
It's going on about the Charlie Kirk thing here. So, I mean, Candice Owens just went. I mean, what's the lad called? It's Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes has absolutely fucking destroyed her there, as we showed in that video. You know what I mean? Fuentes has fucking called her right out. But she has 180'd. She absolutely 180'd, and she hasn't really got an explanation as to why is the other side of it. You know what I mean? It's all wishy-washy and. Yeah, I mean, she can explain why. She went. The crack is, if you don't know, she had a private meeting with Erica Kirk for 4 hours after, for 3 months, telling the world and everybody that Erica Kirk was a liar and that Charlie Kirk's been murdered and it wasn't Tyler Robinson and all this crack. And she spent 3 months saying it was basically fucking Israel's fault. And then she had a meeting with Erica Kirk for 4 hours, and now everything's kosher by the sounds of it. But I don't really watch Candice Owens, to be honest, so I don't really, again, I'm just from what Jesse's saying here. But he's talking about Candice Owens and the Charlie Kirk thing, so we're going to move forward anyway to get to actually listen to stuff about the fucking Satanists. I've already seen he's got Molech here again, which is the owl god. Let's skip to that. So here we go, Moloch, or is it Moloch? A fallen archangel that became an archdemon, the prince of hell, the masquerade as a pagan fertility god. He is famous for his appetite towards children of the faithful. So, Moloch, it's maybe not it's maybe a different, the owl one. I'm not sure, unless the owl is just another representation. He's here in the form of some sort of fucking bull or something. Who knows? Anyhow, let's listen to what the fuck this crack is. Then here we go.
Okay, so now let me show you something else. Okay, this is Moloch. Now Moloch is a different demonic, demonic entity. Apparently not in the Goetia. But just for context, Moloch falls into a category where I can't talk about what the generalized, thing that you do in order to please this one is, because it involves a topic that you can't even mention on this platform. So I'm not going to. But, when you make a person that starts off real small before they grow real big, okay?
He's talking about child sacrifice.
And in the Clinton emails from 2015, okay, this is the reason why they always connected, the Clintons to this stuff is, well, this among many other things, okay, many other things that hopefully, I'm recording this first, I will have probably mentioned earlier related to the Podestas and all that.
There's some people come out and said some wild things about the Clintons, like too wild for people to believe, to be honest, very, very sick things that I wouldn't like to repeat, to be honest, but there's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, to be honest. There's been a couple of people who've come out and said some very sick things about Bill Clinton, but it's never been put anywhere. Like, the mainstream media wouldn't touch you with a fucking barge pole, to be honest. You would have to find, like, possibly David Icke, who's, I mean, a lot of people don't trust David Icke, do you know what I mean? Again, he went on Teddy Wogan and claimed he was Jesus in a way, so it was an epic fail, the likes of which you've never seen, to be fair. Like, Andy he wore a shell suit through the whole spectacle there. In fairness to David Icke, though, he went back on Teddy Wogan maybe 20 years later, and he kind of battered Teddy Wogan in mentally, verbally, and he had his answers and his crack a lot more prepared, and he was a lot further down the road as well. Is another kind of it. It was a bit of a shit show, that early one, but again, you have to, if you want to be fair to David Icke, go and watch the second interview with Teddy Wogan. But again, the beauty of it is that, like, nobody and people frown upon David Icke, but here he is for 20 odd year, telling you what's apparently now being proved here, that these people are all Satanist paedophiles. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to give credit where it's due, to be fair. And David Icke has been sort of saying that for about 30 years at this point. That's the beauty of it. So maybe more, to be honest, maybe more. I mean, the shell suit thing, that was maybe the 80s or the 70s, but I don't know if he knew the full crack at that point. But he's had many books out again. One's called The Big Secret, and I've read it, and it's quite a big book, to be honest. But that's at least 15 to 20 years old, I would imagine. So yeah, but he's on about child sacrifice here. So again, it's a very dodgy subject. I mean, there was talk of Jimmy Savile being into that, but again, it was kind of swept. A lot of it was swept under the rug with Jimmy Savile. Again, what Jimmy Savile. I think I've seen one Sunday paper on one Sunday once mentioned in great detail about him sleeping with dead people in the morgues in hospitals and stuff, and it went. Apart from that, that was pretty much swept under the rug as well, because it's horrible, isn't it? And I mean, child sacrifice, it's absolutely horrible. Like, it's not something we want to contemplate could be happening in the world of today where we live. You hear about the Mayans or the people like that in history, the Aztecs and people like that who were doing child sacrifice. And again, it's not a world you really wanted to live in. So yeah, people don't want to face the truth in many ways, because the truth can be fucking horrifying. Is another side of it, but unfortunately, that's the other side of that. Is if you don't shine a light on the darkness, then how will you ever get rid of the fucking darkness? I suppose. And that's, again, I think, I mean, most people, we just want to live in a nice world. That's like, we just want to be left alone and live in a nice world and be free and be able to do what we want, right? That's it. That's all we want. Just to be left alone, do what we want, be free, and don't fucking mather us and about everything on the earth and tell us where we can go and how much we can eat and carbon tax and digital IDs and yada yada yada. Everything's coming down the fucking line here. So anyhow, let's crack on.
Okay, but this is something that Hillary wrote. With fingers crossed, this is in her leaked emails. Okay, the old rabbit's foot out of the box in the attic. I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard to Moloch. Okay, so like it's like a joke, right? It sounds like a joke because she's mentioning it with rabbit's foot and all that. But like, who even knows what Moloch is? I never heard of Moloch ever until these emails. That's fine. Okay, but
I'm sure, honestly, hold on a minute. I'm sure more like. Yeah, right, so here we go. Bohemian Grove uses an owl as its mascot, symbolising wisdom, with a large concrete owl statue at the Grove that features in its cremation of care ritual that they do every year, I think. I mean, again, Alex Jones sneaked in there like fucking 20 years ago or something. And I believe somebody else has sneaked in there since. I've seen multiple videos, to be honest. But yeah, they do like a weird ritual around a big owl and night with fire, and again, very much like a satanic ritual. I would think. In term, Molech is sometimes mistakenly linked to the grove due to the fiery sacrifice-like ritual, but Molech is a Canaanite deity associated with child sacrifice. While the grove's ritual is symbolic, theatrical burning of worries with the owl statue used as a backdrop, not the deity itself. So yeah, again, that's well, this is an AI overview. Again, I don't know if I trust all this AI shit, to be honest. What is the demon represented by an owl? So an owl demon from the air's go to great prince of hell commands 26 legion of demons. Stolas, which demon is it? So again, he's more like a bull or an owl. Hold on, more like he's more portrayed as a man with the head of a bull. So yeah, again, I must be wrong. That's just what people have again maybe spread the rumor, and maybe the AI is right here. And Moloch isn't the owl god in Bohemian Grove, but again, Bohemian Grove still exists. So does the owl. So does the ritual. What was the ritual called? Cremation of Care. And also Molech exists, but it's not what people thought then. It is Canaanite deity, as he said there. Again, with the crack with the Canaanites, we've kind of looked into that after the flood and pre-flood. Was it pre-flood as well? The Canaanites, I think it might be pre-flood as well. Yeah, and again, we've sort of looked into that kind of crack as well. Like the Canaanites were, well, in one passage in the Bible we've mentioned before, God tells possibly Moses, or it might be I think it's Moses, to be honest, or well, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. It's a very long tale, the Bible, but I think it's maybe Moses or his people to go into Canaanite and kill the men, women, and children in their sleep. Is literally in the Bible there. So the Canaanites, Canaan gods, not liked. Do you know what I mean? Again, this is let's hear more.
But now we're going back to the original book of demonology, okay, and how you summon them is in that book, the Ars Goetia, and here's how you pronounce it, okay, just so that we're all on the same page. This is important.
Ars Goetia.
Okay, so now you know how.
Ars. Ars Goetia. So I mean, it's most people the beauty of this is most people don't believe in religion, God at this point, and look into any of this, and it's so fucking complicated and long. Honestly, like it's so complicated, it's unreal. Again, where do you start? Where do you start? Well, let's start here. Ars Goetia, Canaanite gods, Molech, Satanists, billionaires, yada yada, paedophile, child sacrifice. Again, is that involved in the paedophile ring? And people don't want to maybe believe that. It sounds far fetched, but well, that's what the god that they worship likes, so to speak.
To pronounce that word. Now let's learn a little bit about the demons, the 8 most powerful demons in the Ars Goetia explained. Okay, let's watch some of this.
Listed in the opening section of the Lesser Key of Solomon. As a king of hell, he holds a higher rank and is said to command 66 legions of spirits. His name, often linked to the ancient Semitic deity Baal, suggests a transformation from a once worshipped god to a demonized figure in later demonological tradition.
Hey, you guys remember the Balenciaga scandal? And they had the yellow tape that said Balenciaga with the extra A. And everybody was like, do you understand how much of the Satan stuff is in this stuff that these guys are putting out? Okay, do you guys know about demonology? Did you ever hear of this Baal thing prior to them putting that out or prior to any of this stuff? Okay, so that's one of them. Okay.
Baal's most well-known power is in
I think that's Babylonian god Baal.
invisibility. Those who summon him seek his ability to make people.
I mean, you've got the Tower of Babel and Babel, and I don't know if that's kind of linked in there as well.
Will vanish from sight. A valuable skill for spies, thieves, and occult practitioners who desire stealth.
You know what? Let's skip to this one real quick, okay? So this is Berith, okay? Let me just play a little bit of this for you, because this is the person you make a deal with if you want to be famous, rich, okay? Have everything that you want. He turns metal into gold, okay? Listen to this.
Alchemist, or the regal figure who always knows more than he says. His powers to reveal, transmute and bestow have made him a fascinating character, a symbol of both the magnetic pull of wealth and the dangers of unchecked ambition. So, whether you're trying to unlock the mysteries of time, transform your ordinary life into one of opulence, or gain recognition, Berith is the demon you might consider calling. But remember, dealing with a Duke of Hell isn't like playing a game of cards. The stakes are sky high, and the costs might go beyond what you're willing or able to pay. Even gold, after all, can become a shackle if you're not careful.
I mean, it's just as another little bit of proof, I suppose. I mean, the amount of music stars, I mean, maybe film stars as well, but predominantly the music industry, to be honest, that sell, they've sold their soul and literally to the devil and say and actually say this is kind of unreal, to be honest. And then you've got sort of all the satanic stuff within the music industry, like I mean, in effect, Lady Gaga, as an example, pretty much performs like satanic rituals on the stage at a concert. So, you know, it's been pointed out many a time. You know what I mean? And not just her. There's quite a lot of it. So, yeah, it's out there again. But again, people kind of think it's the moshes of the Satanists, and people don't as well understand that there's lots of gods, like lots of gods. I mentioned this before. Again, people can't grasp that Allah and Jehovah are two different gods. But you've got like Zeus, and you've got like Poseidon, and you've got Ra, the god Ra from Egypt, and you've got Baal, and you've got Berith here. Like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say they were all gods as such. Maybe demigods or angels. There's different kind of entities here. It's not as simple as calling everybody gods, to be honest. I don't think. Yeah, it's a very fucking complicated subject, to be honest. Again, never mind the whole the all. There's a lot of fucking gods anyway. That's the bottom line here. There's a lot of gods. Stop thinking there's only one god, because that's not the crack here, and that's not what everybody else believes, or a lot of people and some important people. They don't believe what you believe. And this is kind of, well, we haven't even got to the proof, you know what I mean? We've fucking got loads to go here. But he's just kind of pointing out more gods here than demon gods. We'll skip forward because ultimately, I mean, there's bad gods. That's what we've learned here, you know what I mean? There's bad gods, there's good gods, there's lots of gods. So,
now watch this. So apparently, the company that Jeffrey Epstein used to invest in Peter Thiel's company is called Ars Goetia. Okay, you see it right there? Ars Goetia LLC is not just an Epstein company. It is one of the most important private equity vehicles used to move money in.
I mean, I don't know, people probably haven't noticed this, but the amount of things named in our world that's got a sort of biblical origin. I mean, you've got iPhone, which is Apple. Well, there's a very, very famous apple mentioned in the Bible there. The temptation, the story of Adam and Eve and the snake, Satan, but one of the bad ones. And Eve eating from the apple, and again, you've got an apple there, and the emblem of apple is an apple with a bite missing out of it. Again, temptation, like that's a biblical thing, apple and the bite of temptation. So, there's one. You've got Richard Branson there, whose company is called Virgin. Well, Mary was apparently a virgin birth for Jesus, Yeshua. So again, a company there called Virgin. So there's a lot of them, to be honest. That was just two I thought of absolutely instantly. There were two very big companies that everybody had heard of, but there's many more that are named with sort of biblical references, but people haven't sort of clicked on to what it's kind of pointing at in a way. So yeah, just that's two that instantly come to mind: Apple and Virgin. Well, there's a very famous apple in the Bible, and there's a very famous virgin as well.
Silicon Valley. Okay. In the September and December 2025 releases, it is confirmed as a primary entity Epstein used for his partnership with Peter Thiel. Here's the breakdown. Ownership and control. Ars Goetia LLC was controlled by Jeffrey Epstein through the offshore and USVI-based management structures in the EFTA Epstein Files Transparency Act documents. It is listed as a client-controlled entity specifically linked to Epstein's primary accounts at JP Morgan and later at Deutsche Bank. The Thiel and Valor link in the ledger you are searching for, Argathia, is the name on the check. Okay, and it shows them transferring 25 million, then 15 million to Valar Ventures. Valar Ventures.
So we'll go and see. Hold on, because we've skipped forward. Maybe unless he's going to explain it now. But let's just have a quick look what Al Jazeera is here. Let's see what we get. Well, I literally get nothing on Google. It wants me to write Argentina for some reason. Yeah, but absolutely nothing at all. Searching that word. I'll Arzgethia. Yeah, so I got nothing at all.
2 and 3 or whatever. Okay, so again, the company that Epstein was using to make these investments is named after the ancient book of the 72 demons that you.
Right, ancient book, 72 demons. Hold on a minute. So, a bit of a research here. I put ancient history, demons book, Al Jazeera. Got a lot more, to be honest. Got literally the Ask Goetia that this guy's talking about. List of demons in the Ask Goetia on Wikipedia. Demonology, summing the 72 demons of the Ask Goetia. So even on Amazon there, to be honest. I wouldn't recommend that, to be honest. Well, I said the one for wealth there, but you probably have to sell your soul to get it, to be honest. So I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, so, yeah, this is, it has got some crack here. So again, he's saying that the Book of the 72 Demons, that's what the name of the book's called. So again, these like people are Satanists. You know what I mean? I mean, there's probably more clues, a lot bigger clues that point to it than this. Maybe that's the other side of it. Anyway, I'll play a bit more.
You can summon in order to make deals with whoever you make deals with if you're a Satanist. And now we get to the Blair White section where she's going to be going through the images that were released in the Epstein files. Okay. This one doesn't probably need a whole lot of explanation, but let's rock and roll.
Movie Eyes Wide Shut, which is a very, what I call a tell you movie, which is where they just put the truth in plain sight, which is also why they call it Eyes Wide Shut. It's the things we don't want to see. And that movie is heavily about all the occult activities, satanic ritual abuse, the leeches partake in. And why Epstein would have this or be a fan of that movie is also very telling.
Hang on. I'm a big fan of that movie. I love that movie. That said,
yeah, it's a good film. Again, if you haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, I believe it was like maybe one of the split up not long after they made that film as well. It was maybe a crack. Yeah, but it's, again, I mentioned before, Stanley Kubrick, and again, the rumour is that 15 minutes was deleted because it possibly showed you too much of what went on. But this is kind of the crack that people have been saying, that this is what goes on in the background, and in the Eyes Wide Shut, again, I don't think they would have done this because of the world and people not wanting to ultimately face how sick this could be. But there is kind of a girl sort of sacrificed on Eyes Wide Shut, I think, it's kind of alluded to. She's naked at one point. But again, this could be children being sacrificed in like similar ways, and as fucked up as that sounds, which it really does, and everybody knows, but it doesn't mean it isn't happening, unfortunately. And if it is happening, then we kind of want it to stop happening because it's fucking sick, isn't it? You know what I mean? So this is why people are kind of trying to tell you this and spread this and make you aware. It's not necessarily to shock or scare you. It's to try and put an end. Because if this is true, young children are suffering, like literally being sacrificed, murdered, suffering, and fuck knows what's happening to them, and they're being kidnapped and taken away from their families, and who knows, taken off the streets, who knows what's happening and where these people are coming from. But again, you've got all I've mentioned in England, like the grooming gangs that were running amok here for quite a while, the Pakistani moving grams. How they could maybe getting away with it now, it's sort of been slightly covered up by the government, and still kind of is, and you know what I mean. Even the victims have come out and said it's an absolute shit show. Possibly that's how they use them kind of organisations, so to speak, to get certain girls and get, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just a possibility, isn't it? You know what I mean? And you can sort of be allowed to operate, but in order for you to be allowed to sort of operate, we want you to do something for us. And again, yeah, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, people just could be snatched off the street. Who knows? Apparently, 100,000 kids go missing every year in England alone, and it's not made a big deal of. You know what I mean? That's why it's sometimes suspicious when you get these like Madeleine McCann cracks. Why is Madeleine McCann so um, important, so to speak, when if 100,000 children go missing every year in England? Why is she getting all the news and the headlines? What about the other 100,000 children? So it's suspicious in a way, you know what I mean? So anyway, sorry, mentioning Eyes Wide Shut here and Stanley Kubrick, already give it a mention. So let's see a Blair Witch's Blair White, sorry, Blair Witch. Let's see a Blair White's fucking crack here. Hold on.
What does that look like? Hey, how about that right there? Anybody an expert on this subject? Anybody recognize that symbol? Because they're not hiding the ball, okay? That symbol means something. And if you don't know, you should, okay?
Yeah, symbols again. We've mentioned this before. It's the ability to talk to each other without the average person being able to understand what's being said. Sorry, again, that's kind of the crack with a lot of the symbols. You know what I mean? That's kind of a crack to sort of tell everybody you're in the club, without telling everybody you're in the club, and everybody in the club knows you're in the club, but everybody that's not in the club doesn't know you're in the club. Is kind of the crack with the symbols and stuff.
It's a topic I can't talk about, okay? That is a very well-known symbol.
And it's just terrifying to even have that in your house. I mean, ew. So, this picture makes me laugh. Here's a photo of Hillary Clinton looking like she just sacrificed to Moloch.
Right? Oh, I thought it's just a chicken, though.
Literally. I mean, she looks like a witch. It is what it is. It is what it is. Notice she has no reflection in the mirror. It's giving witch. And if you think that's...
It's giving witch vibes, like... I mean, in fairness, she has no reflection in the mirror, but I mean, she could be angled wrong, but it doesn't look like it is, kind of thing, to be honest. Looks like it's on the wall and fairly straight, and she is kind of right in front of it. Well, that could be the joke as well, you know what I mean? That could be the joke in the club, so to speak. Anyone seeing the picture will see that and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I don't necessarily think she's like a vampire who doesn't have a reflection. But fuck knows, you know, you never know. I don't know everything. The truth is often stranger than fiction. But yeah, the whole robes, you know what I mean? The whole robe thing as well, that's another issue there. Again, when I first seen that photo, I think I kind of said it was all sort of Illuminati kind of cracker, you know what I mean? Or somebody else, I can't remember. I remember it being mentioned anyway. So, yeah, but in that email saying about sacrificing a chicken, and as he said, it was kind of joking, made in a joking way. But the other side of that is if you were actually going to sacrifice children or sacrifice somebody or something, you're obviously going to put it in a joking way, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? In case all these emails come out, which they often do. That's the other side of it. How many of these emails have been leaked over time, you know what I mean? These people think they're above the law, which they are in many ways, so they think they can operate with impunity. And yeah, they talk to each other about this, but again, they kind of do it in code. Again, all the codes and the symbols, but as well, like, he would pretend you were joking around, so that if it ever does come out, which it has, you've got plausible deniability in a way. We're like, we weren't joking. Do you know what I mean? And it, like this, obviously. So again, I think though it's very sort of telling, in a way. The symbolism is maybe the word I'm looking for. That she's got no reflection, because it kind of does look like she is right in front of that mirror, and it is on the wall pretty straight. But you have got the option, I suppose, that it's not aligned right, and you know what I mean. It's like you're on an off angle. I wouldn't go too far with them claims. To be fair, people will think you're mental.
So far off. I mean, WikiLeaks years ago had emails with her talking about sacrificing chickens to Moloch. I'm not kidding. Like, I feel like sometimes I say stuff and people are like, I don't even know. Like, we're ruled by lizards who like kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that far. That's David Icke's crack yet again with the lizard people. I mean, this is the problem with David Icke. He tells you a lot. I mean, uh, I mean, he could be right. I don't know everything, you know what I mean? But it is all just getting a bit mental. It's like with the flat Earth thing, and you know what I mean. There's a bridge too far, and ultimately, I mean, like the flat Earth one as an example. What the fuck does it matter if it was flat? I mean, I don't think it is, but if it was, and we've been living on this flat Earth our entire lives, me for now 45 years, what fucking difference has it made? And the answer's none. So let's move on. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah, but all this like the lizard people crack. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, more than anything, you just sound fucking mental, don't you? Like that's the problem. Like, you just sound mental saying like we're ruled by lizard people and the lizard shapeshifters. It's all just getting a bit too crazy, and especially for the average person. Like, yeah, if you're trying to convince people of the truth here, going down the yellow brick road to fucking lizard people isn't probably the way to do it. You know what I mean? Kind of what I think of flat Earth as well. People like you don't touch these subjects, but I don't believe the Earth is flat at all. I think that's just kind of in a way, let's see what we can make these fucking idiots believe at this point. And again, I mean, fucking no, I could be wrong. I don't know everything, but for me, the other planets around, it kind of only works. To my knowledge, the whole system that we've been explained here of night and day and 24 hours and round the sun and all of this kind of works. Do you know what I mean? Kind of works, and there's no sort of holes in any of it really. So, I mean, till somebody shows me a better theory, and the flat Earth isn't one. So, yeah, but anyway, anyhow, Hillary Clinton in some gown here. It doesn't say a lot, while it says a little at the same time, I suppose.
And they're also witches. She looks terrifying. I wonder what it's like to be in her household right now.
Probably not very good. We haven't even talked about any of the Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's well aware. The problem with that is she is well aware what Bill Clinton has been up to, and she gets up to very similar activities, you would imagine. She's in the club massively, as is Bill. I mean, he was the whole Monica Lewinsky fiasco that anybody might remember back in the day, and I'm pretty sure he was married to her then. And they're still together, do you know what I mean? So there you go. Like this, it's well known what these people get up to. I mean, have you ever heard of swingers? Do you know what I mean? Swingers, for fuck's sake, and that's just the average person. So it could be an open relationship. Again, there could be Satanists, and Satanists will probably very much be into promiscuity. I can't fucking say it already. I know what I want to say, but I can't. Promiscuity. So that would probably much be a thing for Satanists. You know what I mean? So yeah, just again, I mean. Apparently these people got engaged at Ennerdale Lake in Cumbria, not very near to me, you know what I mean? Bad omen there for Ennerdale Lake. There's nothing at Ennerdale Lake. It's a barren dead zone. Like, it could be why, I don't know. I'm only joking. Yeah, but witches and all this crack, it all gets mental, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And all this Satanism, and again, it is what it is, but it is mental at the same time, and I understand how a lot of people can't fathom this, but I think the easiest way to say it is what you believe and what other people believe can well, vastly differ.
Clinton stuff. But, the new Clinton stuff. Seems like he's the one that got sacrificed. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and continue on this journey together.
You know, Shane, never leaving that man, though. Who, trust me, there's a lot of him in here. So here is, again, I know that like atheists or people who are not religious, like sometimes they don't have really a lens to look at this for what it is, but like,
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say as well. Like, again, I get it, and again, but as well as it's a very fucking deep subject as well. Like all these gods, and again, there's more than one god, and all this crack. It's quite complicated, it really is. And if you know, if you're not in, again, where you've got to start at level 1 in many ways and work your way down the levels. You can't jump in at level 45 and think you're going to fucking understand it because you didn't pay attention on level 1. So that's another side of it. That, like, and again, it's the disbelief of an atheist. They believe that all this is just sort of mythology, and all these people in the past were stupid, and yeah, it's kind of not the way of it. People are probably more stupid now than they've ever been. En masse, don't get me wrong, we've still got intelligent people, I've said this before, but again, I think generally the general populace in the past was probably more intelligent in general, and they still had very, very intelligent people in the past as well, but they still had stupid people, you know what I mean, the village idiots, etc. Them people will have existed as well, but I just think the general populace were probably slightly more intelligent than they are today. Again, everybody's now fucking hooked into an iPhone, and we're all just blanketly educated, really, depending on how. I mean, as many people have mentioned, it's a memory test. Education, it's in effect is how good is your memory, how good are you regurgitating what you've been told here with no real proof of any of it's true because you didn't do any investigation. You've just been told what to fucking think. Can you remember it all and write it on this test paper? That's kind of what education is, isn't it? Like, you don't really do any investigation. You're just told this is what happened, this is when it happened. Like in history, in the history sense, anyway. And yeah, that was that event. There you go. You don't literally look into that event. You're just told that the and everybody's told the same thing. Do you know what I mean? And there you go. That's how you, in effect, I wouldn't say brainwash, but it kind of is as well. Brainwash the society, the school system, and who ultimately decides what the school system teaches, like the government, who in effect's all run by fucking, well, upper echelon Satanists by the looks of this, and all the rich people, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it's very understandable people struggle to believe some of this. I get it.
They're Satanists.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll third it. They are Satanists, and again, it's not the mosher Satanists like the heavy metal crew that just kind of half believe in it and rock and roll. It's not that. It's many, many levels above that.
Correct. And I assume that Blair is going to be very interested to find out that Jeffrey Epstein named one of his companies after the demonic book, or the book that you summon the 72 demons that you can, make deals with from, and then use that to do these Peter Thiel things, who's always talking about the Antichrist, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely loads of proof, I suppose, that these people are Satanists if you want to look into it. But half of it is people don't believe in it in a way. I mean, again, I think I said at the start of the video, it gets a bit fucking fucked up when you're getting into all this and that. And again, it's always just, it's fucked up from the level of the atheists, of the people you're trying to obviously convince that there's something going on here and we're not really happy about it and we don't want it to happen. We would like to stop all this fucking child sacrifice and Satanism, and well, we can't because there isn't enough of us, and you lot won't listen. You know what I mean? So continue on, it will go. It would seem. So she's got more here, more pictures, and there's all these ornaments and stuff as well. Again, I'm not 100% on what all of these are, but I'm sure people might explain that.
Right there, and look at that orb in the photo. Right underneath these devil masks. Or are they masks or are they art? I don't know. I wish you could kind of more clearly see what these books are. Kind of spell books. It's right in front of you. And this is really what helped me, there's a lot of reasons why I'm now someone who is connected to God and came to Christ and believes in God. But one of them was seeing how evil the world truly is and seeing how the people who rule us are definitely not atheists. Like, if you think that just because they push godlessness and atheism in culture and in school, et cetera, that that's actually their true beliefs, far from it. Far from it, because a Satanist is not an atheist.
Yeah, but ultimately, a Satanist or Satan, if you want, he doesn't want you to believe in God and believe in Yeshua Jesus and believe in the whole tale. If ultimately the whole tale's about getting your soul, then yeah, obviously the people who worship the bad guy don't want you to believe in the tale. So atheism, again, it's like atheism's the best possible option for that side of that team for you to for the general populace to believe in many ways. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't push Satanism because Satanism is in effect worshipping a god, which then might push you well people to think, well, hold on a minute. According to the Bible, that's the bad guy. Why do we want to worship the bad guy and go to hell? Because that's the till. So let's worship the good guy. Do you know what I mean? And everything will be better. So atheism is the best possible option to make people disbelieve. Again, you're taking God out of the equation. Whereas if you go around promoting a god of sorts, the devil, then people will figure out that maybe the good guy exists. If you people promoting the bad guy, is kind of the way of it. You know what I mean?
Surely not. You know, there's a reason why they all gather in Bohemian Grove and do their little rituals under the owl. They're surely not atheists. That orb kills me.
Yeah, again, and why would you go and do this in front of the owl and do all these things if you didn't kind of believe in it? You know what I mean? What the fuck are you doing? Like, if you don't believe in it. So it's all kind of there to be seen as well. And many people say, I think the biggest hurdle you've got is that people don't want to believe how sick the world can be and how sick the people in charge and the rich people can be. And there's also the level of people don't, again, the atheism, people don't believe in a God of any kind, in any way, shape, or form. So they don't believe the bad guy exists. That's the beauty of it. If you cancel out God and you cancel out Jesus, Yeshua, you cancel out the devil, again, and a very very famous saying is, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing mankind that he didn't exist. It is a very famous saying. So, yeah, that was the greatest trick the devil ever pulled. So, let's play a bit more, see what's going on.
Here's some spooky, I don't know what these are. Look like African demon masks or something hanging on the wall. Like, these are the photos that people tend to ignore when they're looking through the things. Like, everyone wants to be like,
Yeah, again, this is bang on. That's why I kind of making the video, because everybody's looking at who the people are in the Epstein files and completely ignoring everything going on in the background. And a lot of this might mean stuff as well. Like, again, that's the other side of it. Like, so it's a good point. That's it. It's a good point. Like, most people are just looking at which people. I was myself, to be honest. That's why I thought I'd give this a mention, because it's again, we're just looking at what people we can see in the Epstein files.
oh, the Bill Clinton photos and the Bill Gates photos, which I'm going to get to those, trust me. But I saved these and put these in here because I'm like, it's important to grasp the psychology
What we're dealing with. That's important to grasp what we're dealing with.
and the mindset of these people because they do rule over us. I mean, all the crimes for which there's evidence in these photos we're going to get to, like, this all happened 25, 30 years ago, and we're here just begging for them to tell us the truth about it now. And that is not something they can actually do. Like, we can't even have that, the truth, decades later.
I am operating under the assumption that everyone is already aware that they redacted like every single thing in the files, right? Just black pages and black photos.
Yeah, loads of people blanked out on the photos. Claims it was victims, but I think some of them were like older looking fellas as well. Not like young looking fellas, like older looking fellas. Looked like some of the people who were blanked out. The photos were literally numbered, and the numbers were missing from the list of photos in the PDF files. That's how fucking dumb they are. They fucking forgot to rearrange all the photo numbers in sequence, so it didn't look like they took some out, but they literally have like 5, 6, 9, 13, you know what I mean? So, yeah, again, and everything she said there, man, that's bang on. This all happened 25 years ago, and we're still here begging these people to tell us the truth of what happened, and the truth of it is that all these people at the top are massively involved, a lot of rich people, billionaires and royalty. as the woman said, who's died now, who was assaulted by the Duke of, oh God Almighty, I forgot his name. The Prince Edward is. Why have I forgot? Why have I forgot his name? Andrew? Was it Andrew? Was it Ed?
But this is from Epstein's house.
Yeah, but anyhow, the prince there that's been photoed and everybody's known about for ages, who I've just completely forgot his name in the last 2 seconds there. I don't know how. Yeah, that woman said they were all billionaires, royalty, politicians, prime ministers, all the people who kind of run the countries and run the world. So do you think they're going to expose themselves? And the answer's no. They need to, I mean, again, that they're trying to complete a global agenda here, and they've got 4 years to do it. So they're going to piss you around for the next 4 years, keeping you busy while they pull off the totalitarian Orwellian fucking government that they've got planned here. Is the plan?
I saw this in the New York Times a long time ago. Just like a bride that's hanging, and that's in his New York mansion, the Manhattan one. Just hanging, dude. $60 million property, and I know what art will look good here. Let's make a doll of a bride and then have her hanging. You're all.
No hassle.
What motif are you trying to drive? They're all, what? I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, when I put things on the wall, I'm generally trying to communicate things to people. Like, I'm a person who strives for greatness. Or like, I don't know. You know, I used to have a painting in my house that was like a chessboard, and on one side there was like a devil, on the other side it was like an angel, and I thought that was like really crazy fucking smart when I was like in my 20s, where I'm like, see, I have a choice to make all the time, you know, kind of like stupid, you know, as an older person, but like, you know, trying at the time to be like, look, I'm a deep thinker, or an idiot, or both, you know. Thinking deep doesn't mean you're smart, but
yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, I don't. Is she hung? I can't really tell from this picture if she's hung. I mean, she looks black. That looks like a black mannequin. I'm not sure if she's hung or if she's just hanging. I don't know, but that was the crack. So it's a bit weird. You got to you got to say that right off the cuff here. It's a bit weird of an ornament to have in your house. And again, it would be less weird, but all the crack that's going with it, you know what I mean, of child paedophile rings, of underage girls, of all this crack, you know, these victims that have come out. I mean, of law of averages, I mean, are all these women lying? And I would say no, to be honest. You know what I mean? No, they're not. Again, Lasso that's died now, that was with the prince there. She said billionaires, royalty, prime ministers, politicians, which again I think you'll find is all the people that run the countries and the world. So yeah, the Satanists at the top here.
what are you communicating here as like a whatever 70-year-old man or 68-year-old man, whatever he was, with a hanging bride? Or a bride, I mean, maybe this is a bride who's rappelling down a rope, right? So, again, even if like best case scenario, it's an escaping bride in her wedding.
Yeah, like again, the two options again. I don't know if the hanging, but yeah, it could be somebody like trying to get away, but like a woman trying to get away from this paedophile ring, and it's a joke in a way between the group that no one can get away. And kind of proof of that is we're 25 years down the line and we're still asking questions, wanting to know what the fucking crack is here. So obviously it was a very high profile paedophile ring here that's very well protected. And again, the reason Epstein is dead and didn't kill himself is because he was probably murdered before he told the world what really went on. And rather than go to prison forever and ever and ever, he comes to some sort of bargain plea deal here, tells everything, and exposes everyone, and doesn't go to the chair, possibly, you know what I mean? So we need to murder him. Or I mean, there is a crack that he's still alive, and they just pretend to murder him. That's another crack, I suppose. But who knows? Who knows? In the crazy world of everything you can imagine, there's probably been said at this point. So yeah, I mean, just a lot of weirdness. Again, I don't really. Again, there's how long's left of this video? It's like 7 minutes left. Well, this video's kind of been long enough. I mean, there's no like massive definitive proof really in any of this, but there's probably better videos on YouTube that proves all these people are Satanists. To be honest, probably a lot better videos. It's real fucking deep and complicated though, and again, I understand why people don't kind of believe it on a few levels, because I mean, as I said, atheism. If you don't believe in gods or any gods, and it's very hard to wrap your head around. At the same time, though, you very much watch all the Muslims very much support a god called Allah there, so people manage to wrap their head around the Muslims supporting Allah, but they can't kind of wrap their head around the rich and powerful people supporting Satan. You know what I mean? Well, the evidence is kind of there, to be honest. If you look for it, and I just again, it condemn what you do, fucking lies. All this is kind of the crack of the devil. So yeah, yeah. So I mean, do what you want as usual. Sit where you want, do what you want, think what you want. That's the beauty of free will, I suppose, in this world. For now, anyway, you can think what you want until you're literally told what to think in the near future. So yeah, do what you want with it. I just thought it was a very interesting video, and again, it's something that most people aren't looking at. The background, everybody's looking at who's in the Epstein files. So just very interesting. I thought again, there's another 7 minutes of this video if you want to go to Jesse on Fire and watch it. Oh, the original video we're watching here of the woman, it might go on a lot longer, maybe more details. Don't know, I haven't watched it. If you want though, Blair White, the channel. So there we go. I'll leave it there. Peace.